Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, how to ruin your professional reputation.
The Big Success Show with George and Mary Lynn.
Now, Mary Lynn, I'm sure our longtime listeners know this, or probably know it, but we are big fans, big with two G's, of the Chicago Cubs.
Yes, for better or for worse.
That didn't sound like a big fan, Mary Lynn.
Well, I am, and just being a true fan. Now, you may have heard that yesterday was Lou Piniella's last game as the Cubs manager. Now, Piniella had announced earlier that he was going to retire at the end of the season, but family concerns, specifically his mother's health, caused him to step up his plans.
We certainly wish him the best. He retires with an illustrious career, number 14 on the list of major league managers with the most wins, and he's one of only 5 managers who have been designated the manager of the year 3 or more times.
Yet he wasn't able to turn the Cubs around.
That he wasn't.
I don't think anybody can. When he was hired after the close of the season in 2006, Piniella said he would turn the Cubs into a winner.
I'll never forget him saying that.
I was very excited,
I was too. Well, and all looked good in 2007 when the Cubs finished first in their division, the National League Central Division. Then they lost the Arizona Diamondbacks 3 out of 3 games. They lost them all in the division series.
And then in 2008, the Cubs won their division again.
Woohoo!
However,
we're getting all excited.
Yes, however, once again, they didn't win a single game in the division series with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And I think that was the beginning of the trend back down, right?
Yep.
Because the next year they finished second. That was last year. And this year, it's just disaster comes to mind. I mean, it's just been a bad year.
We're ready for football.
Wait till next year.
For us Cubs fans, it is discouraging, but it's even worse than that. The lesson for entrepreneurs is coming up.
So Lou Piniella stepped down as the manager of the Chicago Cubs. Now, we were all excited, as you said, Mary Lynn, when he came on board, but he was bucking an incredible tradition.
That's right, because the Cubs haven't won a World Series since 1908. Think about that. Over 100 years without winning the big prize.
That's a long time to go. Now, to really give that some perspective, we wanted to just share a few fun facts we found about the year 1908. For example, in that year, the average life expectancy was 47 years.
There were only 46 states here in the United States.
We didn't even have the full deck.
I know.
Only 8% of all homes had a telephone. Only 14% had a bathtub.
Beauty. There were only 144 miles of paved roads in our whole country.
And the speed limit in most cities was a whopping 10 miles an hour.
Only 30 people lived in Las Vegas, Nevada.
The average wage that year was 22 cents an hour. So that translates into about $200 to $400 a year.
Jeez. 90% of all doctors had no college education. They got their license by attending a medical trade school.
And more than 95% of all births took place at home.
Most women only wash their hair once a month with borax or egg yolks instead of shampoo.
Now, what if you only washed your hair once a month, Marilyn?
That would not be good.
Phew. Well, and the thing is, they could afford those egg yolks because eggs were 14 cents a dozen, sugar cost 4 cents a pound, coffee was 15 cents a pound.
Wow, I love 1908. That
sun's looking pretty good.
Caffeine buzz was really cheap to come by.
Well, speaking of buzz, Marilyn, marijuana, heroin, and morphine were all available over the counter at the local drugstore.
No way.
Yeah.
Maybe the Cubs didn't actually win the series. Everybody was hallucinating.
Well, that could be it. Well, just think of the changes that have happened since 1908. And yet, in all that time, the Cubs still haven't won another World Series.
So tradition certainly wasn't on Lou's side when he accepted the job as the skipper of the Cubs.
Not at all. And, one of my favorite quotes from Warren Buffett that relates to all of this, and that is the lesson for entrepreneurs. He said this: when a management team with a reputation for brilliance joins a business with poor fundamental economics, it is the reputation of the business that remains intact.
Oh, that is an excellent quote.
Yes.
Poor Lou. Well, it's a Herculean task to buck tradition. It's a long climb uphill when you fight the trend. Even great managers may sully their reputation if they take the reins of a bad business.
It's best to stick with businesses with solid fundamentals. Growth creates opportunities, and that leads to big success.
You can find a written summary of today's show on our site at Big Success. That's big with 2 G's, success.com.
And we thank you so much for checking in with us today. I'll tell you what, you made us feel like we won the World Series.
Yes, you did. Home run. Until next time, here's to your big success.
The Big Success Show at BIGGsuccess.com.